In the year 2148, the sprawling metropolis of New Haven faced a severe energy crisis. Overpopulation and unchecked consumption had left the city's power grid struggling to keep up with demand. The streets were dimly lit, and citizens were subjected to strict energy rationing. As a result, the city that had once been a beacon of technological advancement had fallen into a state of disarray. Alex, a young and idealistic engineer, lived in a small apartment in one of New Haven's lower-class neighborhoods. He had grown up hearing stories of the city's former glory, of towering skyscrapers that glittered like jewels, and bustling streets filled with the hum of futuristic vehicles. The contrast between the stories and the reality of the city's present condition only served to fuel Alex's determination to make a difference. Each day, Alex would venture out into the city, taking note of the various ways the energy crisis had impacted the lives of its citizens. He saw families huddled together in the dim light of a single lamp, and elderly people struggling to navigate the poorly lit streets. He knew that there had to be a solution, a way to bring light and hope back to the city he loved. Alex worked tirelessly at his job in a government research facility, spending long hours poring over schematics and blueprints in search of a way to solve the energy crisis. His colleagues, many of whom had grown disillusioned with their work, often dismissed his passion as naive and fruitless. But Alex was undeterred. One day, while exploring the abandoned lower levels of the research facility, Alex stumbled upon a dusty, forgotten archive filled with ancient books and scrolls. Curiosity piqued, he began to sift through the materials, searching for anything that might hold the key to New Haven's energy problems. As Alex delved deeper into the archive, he came across a hidden room, concealed behind a dusty bookshelf. Pushing aside the heavy tomes, he entered the room and discovered an array of complex machinery and a large, dusty blueprint hanging on the wall. Squinting through the dim light, Alex realized that he had found something extraordinary. The blueprint detailed a forgotten technology that harnessed a nearly unlimited source of clean, renewable energy. It was a marvel of engineering, capable of powering the entire city with ease. Alex's heart raced as he realized the potential of this discovery. It could change everything for New Haven and its struggling citizens. Over the following weeks, Alex meticulously studied the blueprint, committing every detail to memory. He knew he needed to bring this technology to light, but he also understood the dangers that came with such a discovery. If the wrong people got their hands on this information, they could use it for their own selfish gain, rather than for the betterment of the city. It wasn't long before Alex's suspicions were confirmed. He discovered that a corrupt government official, Commissioner Grayson, had hidden the technology away in the archive, intending to monopolize it and use it for personal profit. The commissioner had ties to powerful energy corporations that had grown wealthy by exploiting the city's desperation for power. If they controlled this new source of energy, they could tighten their grip on New Haven even further. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Alex knew he couldn't confront the commissioner alone. He needed a team of skilled individuals who shared his passion for justice and the betterment of New Haven. So, he began to seek out those who had the skills and the courage to stand up against the powerful forces that threatened their city. Alex's search led him to a diverse group of individuals who, despite their differences, were united by their desire to help their community. First, he found Mia, a resourceful hacker with unparalleled knowledge of the city's computer systems. Next, he met Sam, a former security expert who had grown disillusioned with the rampant corruption in the city's power structures. Then, there was Lily, a brilliant engineer who shared Alex's fascination with renewable energy technologies. And finally, he recruited Victor, a charming and persuasive social activist with a talent for rallying support. Together, they formed a formidable team, each member bringing their unique expertise to the table. As they gathered in a hidden workshop, Alex shared the details of the blueprint with them, outlining his plan to steal the technology from Commissioner Grayson and distribute it to the people of New Haven. The team spent weeks carefully planning their daring heist. They studied the patterns of Commissioner Grayson and his security detail, identifying weaknesses in their routines. Mia hacked into the city's security systems, disabling cameras and alarms in preparation for the operation. Sam and Lily devised a method for quickly extracting the technology and readying it for distribution, while Victor laid the groundwork for a public campaign to rally the citizens behind their cause. As the day of the heist approached, tensions ran high. The team knew that they were risking everything in their quest to bring justice to New Haven. But they also understood that their actions had the potential to change the lives of countless people, fostering a sense of community, bravery, and selflessness in a city that had long been divided by greed and corruption. With steely resolve, the team made their final preparations, ready to put their plan into motion. They understood the challenges that lay ahead, but they also knew that they had a rare opportunity to make a real difference in their world. And so, under the cover of night, they set out to steal the forgotten technology and write a new chapter in the story of New Haven. The night of the heist, the team gathered in an abandoned warehouse near Commissioner Grayson's compound. They donned their disguises, with each member dressed in dark clothing and wearing a mask to conceal their identity. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their mission, and then gave the signal to proceed. Mia was the first to infiltrate the compound. Her nimble fingers flew across her portable hacking device, tapping into the security network and disabling the surveillance cameras. With the cameras offline, Sam led the way, guiding the team through the maze of dimly lit corridors towards the chamber housing the hidden technology. The compound's interior was opulent, filled with lavish artwork and ostentatious displays of wealth. It was a stark reminder of the vast inequality between Commissioner Grayson and the struggling citizens of New Haven. This only served to fuel the team's determination as they carefully navigated the halls, avoiding the few guards that remained on duty. Upon reaching the chamber, they found it locked behind a massive, reinforced steel door. Alex and Lily exchanged a glance, knowing that this would be their most significant challenge yet. With a nod from Alex, Lily set to work, carefully examining the door's intricate locking mechanism. Using her engineering prowess, she identified a weak point in the system and managed to bypass the lock, granting them access to the chamber. Inside, the team was awestruck by the sight of the forgotten technology. The room was filled with rows of sleek, humming machines, their surfaces adorned with glowing symbols that seemed to pulse with life. Alex recognized the technology as a lost form of fusion power, capable of producing virtually limitless energy from abundant resources. As the team set to work extracting the technology, they couldn't help but marvel at the potential impact it would have on their city. This incredible power source, once distributed, could provide clean, renewable energy to every home and business in New Haven, lifting the citizens out of their energy-starved existence and ushering in a new era of prosperity. With their backpacks filled to the brim with the vital components of the fusion technology, the team began their tense escape from Commissioner Grayson's compound. As they retraced their steps, it became apparent that their presence had not gone unnoticed. The sound of alarms blared throughout the building, and the once empty halls now swarmed with guards rushing to secure the premises. Relying on their quick thinking and teamwork, the group evaded capture, utilizing hidden passages and diversion tactics to outsmart the guards. Alex, carrying the most critical piece of the fusion reactor, felt the pressure mounting as he navigated the treacherous escape. Outside, the city had come alive with the sound of sirens and the sight of flashing lights, as news of the heist spread. Despite the chaos, the citizens of New Haven seemed to sense that something extraordinary was happening. Whispers of the stolen technology spread like wildfire, igniting a spark of hope that had long been dormant in their hearts. Back at the warehouse, the team worked tirelessly to assemble the stolen fusion reactor. As they pieced it together, Alex couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the ingenuity of the device. He marveled at its design, a testament to the boundless potential of human innovation. But more than that, he saw in it a symbol of hope, a promise of a brighter future for New Haven. Finally, the reactor was complete. The team stood back, holding their breath as Alex activated the device. The fusion reactor hummed to life, its core emitting a brilliant glow that cast a warm, golden light across their faces. They had done it. They had brought the dream of clean, unlimited energy to life. As word of the fusion reactor's success spread through the city, people began to gather outside the warehouse. They came in droves, united by the hope and possibility that this miraculous technology represented. Families, friends, and strangers alike stood shoulder to shoulder, their eyes reflecting the glow emanating from within the building. Alex and his team knew they had a responsibility to share this newfound power with the citizens of New Haven. They began to meticulously plan the distribution of the energy, ensuring that every household would receive an equal share, with the most vulnerable prioritized. For the first time in years, the people of New Haven had a reason to believe in a better tomorrow. Meanwhile, Commissioner Grayson's grip on power was slipping away. The citizens' newfound unity and determination to reclaim their city proved to be a formidable force against his corrupt regime. Protests erupted in the streets, demanding his resignation and an end to his stranglehold on the city's resources. Grayson, unwilling to relinquish control, doubled down on his efforts to suppress the uprising. He deployed his private security forces throughout New Haven, attempting to quell the protests with brute force. But the people's resolve was unshakable. They were no longer willing to live in fear and darkness. Realizing that Grayson's regime could not be defeated through brute force alone, Alex and his team devised a plan to expose the commissioner's corruption for all to see. They hacked into the city's communication system, broadcasting evidence of Grayson's misdeeds and manipulation to every screen in New Haven. The city's citizens watched in shock and disgust as the extent of Grayson's greed and cruelty was laid bare before them. With the truth about Commissioner Grayson exposed, the city's collective rage reached a boiling point. The people of New Haven, now aware of the extent of his corruption, united in their efforts to topple his regime. Demonstrations intensified, and the air crackled with the energy of a revolution. Alex and his team, realizing the importance of maintaining a stable energy supply during the impending upheaval, worked tirelessly to optimize the fusion reactor's output. They established a network of volunteers to assist in the distribution of power, ensuring that hospitals, schools, and other essential services remained operational. As the city's infrastructure began to stabilize, Alex's team also developed plans to retrofit the existing power grid, making it more efficient and sustainable. They shared their knowledge freely, training others in the art of harnessing the fusion reactor's energy. In the face of overwhelming public outrage and mounting pressure, Commissioner Grayson's regime finally crumbled. His private security forces were disbanded, and he was arrested on charges of corruption and abuse of power. The people of New Haven rejoiced, for they had reclaimed their city from the clutches of greed and tyranny. In the aftermath of the revolution, a new government was elected, one that prioritized the welfare of its citizens above all else. This government, with the support of Alex and his team, set about implementing sweeping reforms to address the city's energy crisis and ensure a brighter, more sustainable future for all. The fusion reactor, once a secret buried in the depths of a forgotten bunker, now stood as a symbol of hope and unity for the people of New Haven. Together, they had overcome their fears, challenged a corrupt system, and discovered the power of community and selflessness. With the city of New Haven now powered by the fusion reactor and governed by leaders who truly cared for their citizens, a new era of prosperity and unity began. Alex and his team continued to work on sustainable energy projects, inspiring future generations with their bravery and selflessness. The once divided city now stood as a shining example of what could be achieved when people came together for the greater good.